Hi guys, happy July. I am so excited to share some cosmic wisdom for this month. So we are in Leo season. The sun is the natural ruler of the sign of Leo. And Leo, I'll give you the full spectrum of the archetype it represents. On the most positive, what Leo really represents is the heart center. It's about generosity and this will to rise to the occasion with courage, with leadership, creativity, to really serve and protect and care for others. It's this sense of I know my own strength. I know my own confidence, and I'm going to apply that for the benefit of others. So Leo rules nobility and leaders and this sense of I have a certain responsibility, and in that responsibility, I'm going to use it for the highest good. So at the very best, Leo is playful and generous and creative and heart-centered. The flip side of Leo is that Leo is the sun, and the sun is radiant and vital and energized and in action. It's very external, but the sun wants to be seen. So sort of a shadow side of very strong Leo placements in your chart, whether that's your sun, moon, ascendant, or if you have a stellium, like a whole grouping of planets in Leo, often that can express as a really generous, brave leader, creative person in the world with others. The shadow is wanting and needing to receive a lot of external feedback and attention and praise for what it is you do and provide. So there can be a good amount of ego that, depending how we master our own ego and our own need for external validation, right, we can serve, the level of generosity varies based on that. And I have a poem that I want to share with you. It's one of my very, very favorite poems, and I don't want to misquote who it's by. I think it's Hafiz. Wait, I'm looking. It's Hafiz. So I'll just read this poem to you because I feel like this really embodies the essence of this. It's called The Sun Never Says, and this is from a book I love called Love Poems from God. It's translated by Daniel Ladinsky. It's all kind of mystical, spiritual poetry, love poetry to God, divine source. And this by Hafiz says, The sun never says, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole world. So here's my question for you to reflect on this month. Where in your life are you really, really generous and abundant and giving and radiating of your energy to others? Really for their good, really because you can and you take that on as something important with integrity. Where are you really fully generous? And where are you kind of conditionally generous based on, well, I will be generous if I get this in return, if they praise me, if I get the validation. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to receive praise and validation or to feel honored for the work you do in the world. I think that is important. But there's a sense of being able to, like, what's the motive, right? So this poem really speaks to no motive, right? How do I just open my heart and give generously because that is what I'm called to do, as a human being, as a soul, as a manifestation of God in the world? And how much is my ego at play motivating who and where I give my generosity to? So that's a question for you to think about. I will say that in your own chart, there can be clues as to where you really show up with a lot of creativity and a lot of joyfulness and fun and play and this willing to really open your heart and put something out that is authentic from you into the world and for others. In my chart personally, Leo falls in my fifth house, which has to do with children, and it's on the cusp and rules my sixth house of day-to-day work. So I don't know if some of you must probably know this about me, but I one of my primary areas of work is with youth. So I'm a teacher and I teach teenagers and I love to be around children. I'm super playful with children. I have three of my own children who I loved parenting and playing with and being creative with. And I still love that kind of work. I create curriculum. Even with my teenagers, I play silly games like children's games because there's something that interacting on that level of fun and play that is authentic and brings out joy. So, depending where you have Leo, if you have Leo in your seventh house cusp, maybe the way you are in partnership and intimate relationship is very heart centered and generous and giving, or you show up as like the hero. I want to protect, I want to serve. Maybe if it's at your 10th house, at your midheaven, there's a sense of being seen in the world, whether through fame or really receiving accolades and recognition, or maybe it's really just through the sense of yourself as a leader in a leadership role that others look to for guidance. If it's in your first house, on your ascendant, right? Others see you as brave and confident and strong and are drawn to you, that there's a certain charisma, the way we're drawn to sunbathe. There's a radiance that emanates from you, and maybe there's just a generosity that feels very much a part of your personality that other people see. And also, first house, maybe you're generous with yourself, like really knowing your own needs and taking care of those needs. So you can look to your chart to see where that shows up naturally, but you can also work with this energy very intentionally and consciously to cultivate more of a sense of strength and confidence, more of a sense of who do I want to be more generous with? And how might I do that in reality and actuality? I have a couple of tarot cards to show you in case these images are helpful for you. This is the Strength card, which is the major arcana card that associates with Leo and the Sun. Strength this is from the Rider-Waite deck, Rider-Waite Smith, and you'll see that there's a relationship, so there's something relational. There's something loving. It's not violent. It's not scary. It's not aggressive. There's a sense of, I will protect you and take care of you. There's also a sense of anytime the infinity symbol, is above, it's reminding us that there is some higher purpose at play. It's not about what am I going to get for this? What am I going to receive in return? How is this going to reward me? It's that I'm channeling something that feels divine and connected to a higher purpose. The strength card is also often spoken about as mastering your own animal instincts. So, how do we master our own reactivity, our own, desires when they get out of control? How do we temper that with some kind of skillfulness, right? How do we channel that with intentionality so it comes from the heart? I really love this version. This one comes from the Lightseers Tarot deck. Again, this sense of the lion and the lamb, right? Which are natural enemies, predator prey, but a sense of, I'm not going to do you violence. I can protect and I can hold space that is safe. Um, this sense of knowing ourselves, our inner and outer selves, and really bringing out our most empowered, boldest part of who we are and expressing that with a lot of bravery and confidence, and that reflects back again that it's work of the heart, right, versus work of the ego. This is a little bit more mystical. This comes from the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. Again, you see the infinity symbol. You see a different beast, if you will, the bear, which when I see bears, I always, for some reason, for me, my association with bears is a mother protecting its cubs. So this real graceful tenderness between ourself and the other, or ourself and our own inner instincts to serve, to protect. So I hope that's information that could be useful to you today. Have a great month of July into August. I will be back in touch with you before August 20th because something really important, I think, that's really interesting happening astrologically on August 20th is that Mars is moving into Gemini and it's going to be there for 7 whole months. So we will talk about that and where that's happening in your chart and how you might work with that really intentionally. So blessings, lots of light, lots of love, lots of generosity. Have a great month.